you're addicted, and I get illustrated.
Welcome once again. We are back after week 4, our episode 5. UC, made famous from Horses, Mr. Mark Haley has joined us this week. Alongside him, fresh from Lisbon and Munich, is none other than Mr. Nick Mowry.
Bom dia, willkommen.
Yes, whatever that means, we shall continue.
Welcome back.
Yes, indeed. As we get into most segments, we talk about analytics, but due to a technical error in the last posting of the last episode by none other than myself, we will skip the analytics part. We've got a great show for you otherwise. Both hosts are back and in full force, feeling good. The love is in the air. We're energized. But before we get started, we first have to thank our sponsors. And do you ever find yourself just stuck in traffic or getting cut off by bigger cars, jerk drivers, or people staring down at their phones, either texting or trying to trade for Aaron Jones? Do you wish you could honk at them in a way to let them know your true feelings rather than those, dinky little honks that your car has built into the horn? Well, worry no more, as there is a solution. And this solution is the Bjorn Fjorn unflappable car horn. This Bjorn Fjorn unflappable car horn will shock your opposing driver, sending not only sharp, increasing sounds, but it actually has foundational technology to send semisonic, tectonic shockwaves that will shake their car, sending the ultimate message to the other driver. Bjorn Fjorn has worked with his team in the fjords of Norway to revolutionize the way we honk at each other. And for a limited time, Bjorn Fjorn himself has offered his Bjorn Fjorn unflappable car horn to our listeners with a 25% discount. Simply use the code TLR at checkout when you visit Bjorn Fjorn's unflappablecarhorns.com, and Bjorn Fjorn himself will discount his normally €100 horn down to a measly €75. This is an incredible deal that will change the way you drive. So check them out at Bjorn Fjorn's unflappablecarhorn.com.
What do they sound like?
How do you spell Bjorn Fjorn?
BJORN FJORN, unflappable UNFLAPPABLE, carhorn CARHORN.com, all one word, /TLR. 25% off. Unbelievable.
That is a good deal.
And I have a car that has a rather measly horn myself, so I cannot wait to try this Bjorn Fjorn's unflappable car horn.
And then when that jerk tries to cut you off, what's he going to hear?
I don't know why you guys are laughing. This is foundational technology that sends both tectonic and semisonic waves into the other car. But before we digress, let's send it over for the first segment to every show, a call from the commish. What do we got?
All right. So this week I thought we would do a little bit of a Q&A because last week Tommy said he had lots of questions for me. So just one question, not too long of a question, because we got to make time for another episode of Who Are You Been?
Ooh. Okay, I got one question.
Yep.
I have a question too, so can we do 2 questions?
Only if one of you do one each.
Yeah, okay.
Deal. Nick, would you like to go or would you like to defer?
Yeah, you sounded like you had one, so go ahead.
My question is there any sort of way to incur a negative points reduction when your offensive player commits an offensive penalty, such as a holding by a tight end or an offensive pass interference? Could that ever lead to a -2 points or a -1 point? Is that functionality even possible?
Fair question. My first part would be to respond and react to the Yahoo capability of any penalty on an offensive or defensive player. And the answer to that is a simple no. That is not a stat category that Yahoo offers. And I believe the part 2, at one point you said, like, could there, like, hypothetically, like, would the Trio League ever maybe have something like that? And to that, I would answer a very simple no. Every rule that you could pretty much think of, besides something that's not addressed, completely unchangeable at this point.
That is going to dilute the future of this segment, but I'll stand my ground.
Nick?
Yeah, Chairman Mao or Commissioner. So since I didn't read the rules, I'm actually very excited about this segment because I get to learn a little bit more about the league every week.
I like it too.
So I have one question. So there's a raffle ticket for the high point scorer each week.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if there was like a separate raffle and or prize for being the last undefeated team in the league.
Ooh. All right. 2 questions or so in there. I forgot the first one, but the last one was, is there a second lottery in regards to being the last undefeated team? The answer is no. And I think I should expand and just say that the payouts in general are $400 to the champion, $100 to second place, and $100 to the winner of this raffle. And the other $600 gets set aside for the lottery thing. So then the other questions, what were they?
No, that was the only question. I think you just made up the other question.
Yeah, that's.
I just said I was excited about this segment since I didn't read.
No, you said something else that was incorrect in there. I remember that's what it was, and I was gonna say actually, you stated something as fact that was incorrect.
Oh, I called you Chairman Mao.
No, it was after that. It was after that.
Because you're a communist commissioner.
It was after that.
So, as we take it to the league recap for the week, we're going to go game by game, add our own insight and analysis.
Before, I did want to do a quick little "Who you been?"
Oh,
I asked Ben, "What's your favorite sports memory?" Ben,
wait, can we guess? Can we guess?
Sure.
You're
the one dragging it out. You're the one dragging out the segment.
Is this the guy in Thailand that we don't know?
Yep.
He's back from Thailand, just like you are back from Uberville.
Where is he?
In 3 places in his life.
Where is he located now?
La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Either there or Minneapolis.
Well, we should figure that out.
So I bet his childhood memory, he's got to be a Minnesota guy, is something to do with either the Vikings or Kevin Garnett. And since neither of them have won,
I think it's a pond hockey memory.
All right, Nick's going pond hockey. I'm going Vikings.
Well, more specific, which Vikings event? Because that's correct.
The Vikings, when Moss was young, Chris Carter was still there. They were in the big dome, and Cole Pepper was throwing touchdown passes up the wazoo. That's the time frame I got. I don't remember the specific game. His specific
thing, and then all right, so he said watching Adrian Peterson break the single game rushing record live.
That's fair.
And then he said in parentheses excluding the Minneapolis Miracle, but I don't know why that would be excluded. But
because it's too recent.
Okay,
recency bias.
So he might be interested in knowing, because every time I ask Ben a question, there seems to be a connection to one person in the league, and this time the connection is to me because I was also at that AP breaking the rushing title game, and I was working it. So after the game, I interviewed Adrian Peterson with a bunch of other schmucks, including Nick Hassel, who I brought, who some people will know. But anyway, I was there too. His least favorite sports memory, if you'd like to guess, or I can launch in there.
Gary Anderson.
Yeah.
Great guess. What else would be the answer?
Blair Walsh missed one against Seattle.
Jimmy Butler.
Nope, it's Blair Walsh because he was there live in negative 40-degree weather.
Oh, shit.
And so that made the cold worse, I'm imagining.
I would think so.
All right, and then last but not least, what's your favorite non-football team and why?
He's going to say the Saints because he likes watching Drew Brees.
Ooh, you had it earlier, but go ahead, Nick.
The question was, what's your favorite non-football team?
You got it.
So Tommy said a football team, so that was way off, correct?
No, I think he just said the Knicks. No, you said the Saints. That was terrible. Unless you're talking about the St. Paul Saints. That's all right.
I didn't hear
go-
the non-football part.
I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves.
That is correct, genius. And why?
Kevin Garnett.
Yep, because they always loved KG, and a friend and I used to go to a lot of the games and chat with the players, which is a ridiculous coincidence. I have chatted with some players as well and got them to sign some shit. All right.
So,
And
Mark,
that
for our
is
listeners,
who are you been? Now we know so well. Just a Minnesota rube like the rest of us from the north.
for our listeners who may not know, why were you in a position to be able to interview AP after such a game like that? What allowed you that opportunity?
It was me and a bunch of other schmoes. So, like, that's a creative way of saying I was one of the 50 people in the media press conference afterwards that he had to talk to.
So you're saying you're not willing to lend your credibility as a media member to this podcast, but you're willing to fake it and feign it even further.
I've never shook his hand.
Well, it's probably a hell of a hand to squeeze.
I'm not sure that answered the question.
It didn't, but he doesn't want to answer it.
I didn't follow.
Basically,
Something about
did you-
media member, credibility, this show, something.
On to our weekly recap. In the battle of the last place teams, featured none other than Coop, there it is, who had to make the tough choice to actually bench their namesake, Amari Cooper,
Oh,
for the last week against Nick's favorite team, who he thought would finish last, Winklevision.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say this week, Nick turned out to be correct. After Winklevision was projected to win by just almost about 10 points, instead he lost by 35 after facing stiff competition with Derek Carr putting up a great day, Calvin Ridley again keeping the magic going, Aaron Jones emerging out of the backfield, Sterling Shepard with a touchdown. Meanwhile, there was a Thursday night game last week. I won't go into the score, but Minnesota lost. And Winklevision had...
This is not that segment, so but go on.
Winklevision had 2 players from that game. So I thought I'd leave Thursday night in a deficit. In fact, he left Thursday night with -1 points after 2 players had played. So I was off to a good start. So
any regrets leaving 18 points and your namesake on the bench?
Ooh, he had a good game.
He did have a good game. The only regret was Demaryius Thomas playing over him, but I figured they'd be down against Kansas City. They'd throw it. Luckily, it didn't come back to hurt me, but needless to say, I think my namesake will likely be back in my lineup.
Nice.
Well,
We'll move on to Andrew Luck on his bench, who would have doubled Tom Brady's points last week, but even that wouldn't have drawn the deficit because he still was going to lose.
I mean, his team is atrocious.
As you mentioned, week 1.
I will repeat the same question I asked. Is there one player on Winklevision that you guys would actually trade for?
That was a good call to, before the season, identify the team that actually is the last team without a win. Or does he have a win?
No, he does have a win. The only team without a win is coming up later. It's coming up later.
Yeah. we'll talk.
We've got some. I actually played that team this week, so I'm feeling.
Oh, all right. Another who's the worst matchup?
No, I'm well clear of that now.
But is there one player on Winklevision you guys would trade for?
As I look through it, he did actually turn down one of my trade offers. I offered him Demaryius Thomas for Kerryon Johnson, and he said,
Oh,
no.
wow. That's a fair offer.
I thought so.
For both teams.
He said no.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, he just didn't maybe like that trade, but that's a good offer to throw out there.
Is he actually an active participant? Because he started a guy that didn't play.
No, he tried to trade me a couple times, so I think he is accurate. And OJ Howard did play. He just got hurt, right?
So right now we're filming live. It's Thursday night, and Winkle is starting Tom Brady, who already has 27 points, Josh Gordon, who already has 11 points, and Eric Ebron, who already has 16.5 points. So he's won.
That's a good game for him. Better than his last Thursday night when he exited -1 points.
And somebody changed their team name to I Like Beer. And I don't know who it is, but that's
it's Ben. It's who are you Ben?
Who are you Ben? Is gonna lose. All right. I like it. Good job, Winkles. Beat him.
So next game we had was a close contested matchup. Probably the closest last week. In fact, mathematically, carry the zero, it would be. Roger, help me, Roger, took all of that helpful advice to heart. And Mark, I'll let you elaborate. How did you feel the matchup went?
I thought I had a chance to win it. I, at halftime of Monday night, still had Ben Roethlisberger and James Conner and somebody from another team.
Ben was on your bench.
Then I had Flacco.
Yep.
John Brown, who did well. And so I didn't watch any of the game, but I did track it a little bit. And I got 20 of the 30 points I needed in the first half, and then they weren't able to get the other 10 in the second half. So it was a close game. It's a good game. We've been offering each other trades back and forth this week. I don't think we're going to be able to get anything done, but it's just another week.
How about Golden Tate, who he's been trying to trade, putting up a 25 number?
Yeah, and James White destroyed me. And you might have noticed my mood just got a little bit more somber right after we started the show. Because for a second straight week, a Patriots running back is going to beat me because Bradley's team just got Sony Michel to get a touchdown run. We shouldn't film live on the show when there's football happening.
I don't have any players in this game. So.
I'm pretty upset.
I don't either, so I feel like that's a you problem.
Mark, how do you feel about losing when Roger had a 0-point player?
He had studs going. He had
wait.
Cohen,
yeah,
who had 25 points, who had like 3 every other game. So it just wasn't meant to be for me.
He also had Michael Thomas and LaShawn McCoy, who combined put up less than 8 points. And those are his studs. So it does beg the question, how do you feel?
I feel like the final score was 121 to 116, which, looking around, was the second highest scoring game in the league.
It is.
Nick's team.
So let's
talk about Nick's team.
Let's move into it. Don't stop the leave it.
Yeah. Nick's team is unstoppable. His team is loaded. Our league should have never let him get Christian McCaffrey. He's got Kamara, who arguably is the second best player in fantasy football. Christian McCaffrey. Those are the 2 youngest guys in a keeper league that he can keep forever. They can play 10 years plus. Nick is the favorite to – Nick, you need to lose a couple championships at some point. Otherwise, you'll minimize your jackpot if you win the first 3 years.
And he's got Jared Goff. Jared Goff could be a keeper the way he's been playing.
I was going to say, that was my favorite pick. I got Goff in like the 10th round.
All right. Well,
so elaborate on your game because Who Bin put up a great number, the highest number in a loss.
Well, I was a little bit concerned that I had to bench McCaffrey because of the bye week. I was a little worried I had to bench my stud.
Oh, wow. He won without McCaffrey.
And replacing him with Wilkins, who has been nothing but atrocious the entire season.
Well, to put it into perspective, Who Bin would have won in any other matchup he would have played in last week.
He also would have won if he would have started Cooper Kupp.
I actually lied. There was one other option. There was one other team he would have lost to, but it works better for the segment.
But if he just puts in Cooper Kupp, he beats everyone in the league. Yeah,
Cooper Kupp with the 28. That would do it.
So I was very happy.
Who would he have started him over?
5 points from Mike Evans, or probably 5
You
points.
would never bench Mike Evans.
Yeah, you're always going to start Mike Evans.
Well, yeah, but we're playing Thursday night fantasy quarterback here.
True. I'm just saying,
I mean, Mike Evans has...
You don't feel as bad if that's the reason why you lost.
Yeah, Mike Evans has Fitz magic, so you got to start him every game.
Who's your current avatar?
Fitz magic.
Yeah. So, Nick, you were currently the last undefeated. One of the other undefeateds who has since been defeated. Big Mama.
Well, can we, before we move on from myself?
Please.
Yeah. So Mark's been a little sour over text messages because I think he really wanted to be the last undefeated team. And I don't know if I truly believe that he really likes my team that much. I think he's just a little angry.
I believe it's called reverse
your team
psychology.
Is stacked. They should have never let you get Christian McCaffrey. I mean, if I could pluck one player to get injured, It would probably be McCaffrey at this point. That would probably help me the most.
I also don't see myself losing all season.
You heard it here, folks. Undefeated. Babe Ruth in it.
We can move on to the Andy Reid's died.
Thank you.
Okay. Move on we shall. Big Mama, 16 points under projection, while Chris with a C, I believe, was well over his projection by almost 50 points. Due in part by Ezekiel Elliott becoming the focal point of the Dallas offense, as he should have been all along, and an otherwise pretty solid starting lineup minus Michael Crabtree, because you could have played Corey Davis of Tennessee, and that would have been a 20-point swing.
And he drafted him early, so he's been waiting for him.
Right, and that was really the only misstep you could say. I do like the pick of Geronimo Allison, though, because he's been getting some action.
He drafted him 15th round.
And then as you look at Big Mama's team, he's trying to catch lightning in a bottle because he's got some big play threats with Tyreek Hill, Will Fuller, Antonio Callaway, and last week they just didn't hit. Benched some good performances by, I believe in week 2, you guys said Kirk Cousins was the greatest quarterback in the league, so he benched him. And Alshon Jeffrey, who put up 16.5, who could have beat actually, no, let me rephrase that. Literally any of his other flex players would have been worse than Alshon Jeffrey, who he had benched.
This show was a lot more fun when the Vikings didn't suck.
We're fine. We'll talk about that when we talk about the NFL. All
right.
Moving on, because we're on to tight end guy, best name in the league, who narrowly escaped the clutches of Minnesota Ice, who I think is Chris with a K. Could be
That's
wrong.
correct.
Yeah, he loves winter.
I have a question. Do you still believe that that's the best team name, even now that Ben is named I Like Beer?
That's true. It's a close competition. But I like how tight end guy basically said that I determined his team name. So I've named 2 of the teams in this league.
I like it.
Do you think Ben's going to change his name every week to teach us more about him?
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Good point is right.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So nothing really to say about this game.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the avatar is of. I can't tell.
It looks like a little dog that's either on alert or pooping.
No, for I Like Beer, the new one.
Oh, not looking there. Yeah, nothing crazy noticeable. They played a normal game, didn't leave anyone crazy on the bench. Just a close matchup. Drew Brees almost lost it for him, but at the end of the day, he pulled it out. Now to the last game of the night of the league last week. Kyle, who I promise, Kyle, we don't hate. We're just trying to help.
We were just right.
We were just right. The last team without a victory, O'Doyle Blows, seems to have self-anointed himself. Had a tough matchup. No one over double digits except for his second flex option, Gio Bernard. One up against Matt Ryan, DeAndre Hopkins, who had big weeks, Zach Ertz, and then the Green Bay defense, who put up 23 points in the shutout. Did not see that coming.
Oh, my God. Eric Ebron just got another touchdown. He has over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Who has Ebron? Are you playing Ebron?
Winkle.
Oh, Winkles may get one.
Yeah, he's off to a pretty good start. I also traded him in my other league for Christian Kirk straight up. Anyway. That brings the total to 4 games for the West and 2 for the North. Every team matched up again this week. It was an even week. And the North, got the first matchup week 2, and you guys took down week 4 as the West.
And I believe they were 4-2, so over.
I think
is that correct?
Got cut up. I couldn't hear what you said.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Oh, so like the first time the divisions had the interdivision, North won 4-2, and then now we won 4-2, so it's overall tied.
You're correct.
I would also like to say that this podcast is 8-4 as a collective unit, so good job by us.
Solid.
Go on.
Nothing.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon. daily and nightly.
Woo!
Blizzard.
77 days from winter. Who's ready for some blizzard?
Blizzard.
So our favorite segment of every week, winter is coming. Everyone up there in the north, hope you have your peak coats ready, your Arizona beanies ready to go for this wonderful season of winter.
You look much bigger now.
Gotta pack on the pounds for the cold winter coming for our friends up north. I proudly only get to use this winter jacket maybe 5 days out of the year when I travel to the north for work. All right, so this week I thought I would just read off some fun activities that people recommend to get past the winter gloom of being stuck inside all day because it's too fucking cold outside. So first, make spiked hot chocolate. The alcohol will take the edge of sitting inside all day off. Number 2, spiked coffee. This is literally a real article. The first 2 suggestions are just adding alcohol to your everyday drinks.
Did it specify which alcohol they suggest adding?
Yeah, she says basically anything. Just throw it in that coffee. Number 3, though, wants you to be a little more creative. Invent a hot toddy. So make your own hot toddy. There's so many teas and liquors out there. The possibilities are endless.
So a toddy is just an alcoholic tea?
A hot drink that has alcohol in it.
Is that any relation to Todd of Todd?
I think it's Todd's favorite drink.
Well played.
Are you sure he doesn't want to keep that hot drink away from any open wounds you might have? That could burn.
Or thin his blood so it just keeps bleeding out.
I think this is bad podcasting because no one knows who Todd is.
All right, once you're done, we'll give a quick Todd story.
Okay. Number 4, so first 3 suggestions were just drink a bunch. Number 4 is plan a road trip to somewhere warm. Number 5 is start a vacation fund so you can have somewhere to get away next winter.
Who made this list?
This is by. You want the name of the author?
Yeah.
Or the website.
Kristen Nunez.
We should get her on.
That's a winter sounding name. Nunez?
Yeah. All right. Just a few more. She has 21 options, so just a few more here.
Okay.
Number 7, take some extra supplements. So take your vitamins. Was an indoor activity to get over the winter gloom.
What's the vitamin D? Is that the one for lack of sun?
Yeah, that's one of them. And then she didn't specify that though. She just said take your supplements. Another one is breathe and be grateful. You know, instead of heading for the coffee machine first thing in the morning, try our waking meditation track. Oh, so she has a meditation track. All right.
Ah, okay. We should play it on the show.
I'm with you.
Some deep breaths never hurt anyone is her reasoning.
These don't take long enough.
Well, you're not allowed to
How do you fill the other 8 hours a night?
make more hot toddies.
Then there's a really random one that was thrown in here. It was dye your clothes. No reason for why that should be done, but it just says you'd be amazed at what you can transform with a little fabric dye. And then my
Taking deep breaths.
my personal favorite is update your leather jacket, so you can add some sparkles or some crystals to your jacket. and have an entirely new jacket for summertime. And that wraps up Winter is Coming. Hope you guys are ready. 77 days away. To the favorite time of the year for our friends up north.
Well, one of these days I'm going to sell a copy of just the Winter is Coming segments on a DVD for $10. But until then, have you ever wished for a store? Not like one of those like stores where you can like just get anything and everything, like stores where you can get like really specific stuff, but not just like one specific thing, like, you know, like a small collection of nice singular things.
Totally.
Like a banjo. Like, it's fun, new instrument that not a lot of places are selling. If you wanted to get a banjo, it would be tough. So like we specialize in banjos. And then not all movies, just the movie Benji is for sale. DVD, VHS, different episodes of Benji. We got bingo boards. You cannot find dabbers here or any sort of rolling randomizer, but we do have bingo boards here at the store. We got bongos. We definitely appreciate music. So to go along with the banjo, we'd like to offer you an additional bongo to go along, make some full music albums. And we do have bungee cords. So if you ever want to, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. I actually am selling my PS3. I got talked into getting a PS4, so I don't need this thing anymore. I got all these games, $100.
Can you go through the games?
Yep. We got Madden NFL 15. We got Def Jam Rap Star.
Is that Shell?
We got
Shell?
NHL.
You can't get rid of Rap Star. You cannot get rid of Rap Star.
I don't have a system to play it on.
That might be the only copy in the world.
It's better than your Panasonic from last week. You got to hold on to that.
I might. I got Leisure Suit Larry. I got NBA 2K18, Journey, and Katamari Forever.
Tough to pass that up.
But $100. Taking all the years. You're probably right, though. I should probably. Well, no. Why would I hold on to that? Because then I'll just store away and never use it, Nick.
Collector's item.
It does say collector's edition right on it.
Well, if that's not a Richard tease, or more friendly known as Dick tease, I don't really know what it is, because $100 for all that, it's a hell of a deal.
Thank you.
As it relates to actual fantasy football, the purpose of this pod, the Dick tease of the week goes with Minnesota Ice, who's Chris with a K, I believe.
That's right.
All right.
He loves winter.
He does love winter. And you know what else he loves is New England receivers, because he has both Chris Hogan and Philip Dorsett. And last week, he decided to roll the dice. And he said, all right, they're playing Miami. Let me throw out Chris Hogan, because they got Wes Welker from Miami. He's a wide receiver. I got Chris Hogan now. He's a wide receiver. Maybe it'll work. Well, Chris Hogan put up 2.5 points.
Oh.
He was projected 8, so that's crushing. When instead, had he played another New England receiver, such as Philip Dorsett, who scored 11.5 points, he would have won the game. He lost.
Oh, Dick tease for sure.
Wrong New England receiver at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Actually, I got to say quickly that reminds me that Kyle has been waiting on Edelman. So now that he's finally back, we shouldn't pick on him. Edelman's back. Dude had freaking 11 targets, 7 receptions for 50-some yards.
Yeah, so that's like 5 points in our league. So that's like a very subpar day.
Yeah, he's doomed.
I would like Chris to definitely hit us up on the chat to let us know what he thinks about his Dick tease.
Great call out. And as always, please
Yep.
like, subscribe, and tune in to future episodes. If needed, actually, no, it is needed and it is desired. We will start sending the link out and asking for all to call in, because the more, the merrier.
And Nick, to put you on the spot, like you put Chris K on the spot, would you trade one of those receivers from Kyle's team and Derrick Henry for the guy that I want on your team?
So I don't think I can get rid of Thielen. One, he's my only Vikings player. Two, I'd have to change team names. So I just don't think I can do it.
All right. You heard it here first, live on the air.
Don't stop believing.
Now that we've heard that, Mark, what were your top 3 stories of the week?
My number 1 story of the week was I caught a little bit of that Chiefs game.
What the hell is this segment?
It's just like the top NFL stories of the week, where we talk about.
Oh, okay. All right.
You were going to figure it out. You're going to get context clues once I started talking.
Yeah, you're out for 1 week and you pretend like you've never been here before.
All right, my bad.
We did flip the order, to be fair.
Did
Which
you guys
we
actually
announced ahead of time?
Did you guys actually do the podcast last week?
Yeah, it was actually, we had some great one-liners. I
Is this
watched
why
it
we're
back.
not doing the analytics? Because Nick didn't even watch?
That and because I messed up, I posted the wrong version, so it only had like half of it. But what it did show is 2 people watched, because they're like, "Yeah, no, it ended at halfway." And then I
True.
posted again, and like, no, it still hasn't finished. So, thank you, Roger and Ben.
Ben likes Bears, Vikings, and Timberwolves.
I'm starting to like this Ben guy.
Yeah, me too.
Ben.
I'm not going to feel as bad when he takes all the money. But I was saying Mahomes, I caught a little bit of his game. And you know what? I'm still hopeful that the NFL is going to catch on, or not totally catch on, but like at least have some sort of a game plan for him, so he's not by far like Patriots 17-0 style offense or anything like that. Like maybe they'll get slowed down a little bit. That was my takeaway on the Broncos game. And then I only tracked the Vikings game on my phone. But I did notice that our defense sucks now. What happened?
So I can explain that perfectly.
Is it the no double A that blitzes?
No, I can explain it perfectly. So
Okay.
First off, I was very happy to be gone the last 2 weeks because I didn't have
Can you still hear him?
No, Nick, I think your mic died. Folks, let me remind you, we do this live, so you're gonna have to roll with the punches because we.
I'm back. I'm back.
He's back.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Folks, we're back live.
So first of all, I was very happy to be gone the last 2 weeks. I did not have to watch 1 second of the Viking losses.
Nice.
So thank you, world. Second, I did go back and kind of watch the highlights, read up on it, watch the tape, and I'm not worried at all. Our defense is going to be just fine. We had very unlucky timing to, against the Bills, have 2 fumbles right at the beginning of the game that put our defense on the field the entire first half, tired them out, no chance to win that game. Defense was exhausted. And then we had to come back on Thursday, play the best offense in the league with a dead tired defense. We'll be fine. We're going to destroy the Eagles. I promise at least a 20-point victory this week.
Why was our defense so tired?
Because the first 2 drives of the game, Kirk Cousins fumbled, and they literally got no rest.
And played on a Thursday. Yeah.
All right.
I also
Whatever.
do want to. I'll save it for mine. What
My
Mark, what's
third
your
one is that the Rams are never going to lose, and they're going to be the Nick of the NFL and just mop everybody up. And hopefully my fantasy team at least reaps the benefit with both the defense and Gurley.
We would have beat them if we weren't playing them on a short week after our unlucky game.
Well, next time we play him, it's going to be in LA, so good luck.
I'm fine with that.
We blew it!
This one was in LA.
I kind of wish the Falcons would have beat the Eagles on that last play, and then Minnesota could have played all their home games for the playoffs last year, including the Super Bowl.
We're fine, Mark. Relax.
So those are my three. I'm assuming Nick doesn't have any because he was busy, but Nick, if you want to chime in, feel free.
Well, I was going to give that Vikings piece. So that was one of them. Second is, I'm going to keep asking it every week. You guys give me an answer. Is Blake Bortles now elite since he had another good game?
Nope.
Elite's a stupid word.
Is Blake Bortles excellent?
How about no? He's not. He's not top 10.
What?
I would agree.
There's 10 better quarterbacks.
I wouldn't even say 15. I'd say 15.
I don't even know if he has an interception this year.
All right. So at some point, maybe we should prepare a little bit for it, but
No, we'll do it live. We are live.
All right. Well, this way we can't count them. Let's do name that quarterbacks that are better than Bortles. And you know how it's like name that tune. It's like I can do it in 2 notes. I can do it in 3 notes. So I can do it in 15 quarterbacks. And if you bid 16, you're going to have to name them.
Okay, I have I was gonna say 14 and a half, so I'll go 15 and risk it.
I already said 15. So yeah, at this point, it's like name that tune. So you want to go above it?
No, I think I can name 15 quarterbacks I would take before Blake Bortles.
So I already did 15. So you either have to say name it or you have to go to 16.
No. I was the one who said 15. You said 10.
All right, I'll go to 16.
Nick, do you think there are 16 quarterbacks better than Blake Bortles?
No.
He's out. So now you have to either say 17 or force me to name him.
Force you to name them.
You don't think that you can name 16?
I think he's league average, which with 32 teams puts him right at 16. And
Right.
That's where I'm at.
I think you're going to realize pretty quickly that this is a mistake. All right.
I'll
Baker
count.
Mayfield.
No, wait. Nope. He doesn't count yet.
All right. Andy Dalton.
That's on the border, but I'll give it to you.
Andy Dalton's trash.
No, he's better than Blake Bortles.
He's trash.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep.
Joe Flacco.
I'll save that one.
Well, is he elite?
Yeah, we're holding Joe Flacco.
All right. We've got Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, that's close. I'll give it to you for now, but he's got a couple weeks, but he better turn it around.
Bortles has better stats this year.
But it's not about stats. Who's going to win you the game?
And Bortles is better than Marcus Mariota, so that just mops up the South there.
But Mariota won in that game.
Still, Bortles is better. Anyway,
Keep going.
so Patrick Mahomes.
AFC North and AFC South, now AFC West.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Not whoever the trash head on our team last year was.
Keenum.
Whatever. Yeah. And then Rivers.
Yep.
And that's all I got from the West.
Ouch.
And then and then in the East, I'll go Brady. Better. But the Bills suck and the Jets suck and the Dolphins suck. Why do the Patriots get to play? The 3 worst teams in the NFL every year are those 3 teams. Anyway.
I know.
You're at 7
so
and you're through one conference.
All right. Kirk Cousins is better. Aaron Rodgers is better. Matt Stafford is better. And the other guy sucks, actually. The Bears guy, Mitchell.
Yep, you're at 10.
Why would he... Biggest mistake of his life, going from Mitch, which is a reasonable, fine name, to Mitchell. He blew it.
No, I actually heard people kept calling him Mitch the Bitch, and he didn't want to be that. So Mitchell the Bitch doesn't work as well.
Oh, okay. So that's a bitch move to change your name so people don't call you a bitch.
You heard it here first.
I have a few words on bitches later, so get ready.
Great.
Just get 6
Jared
minutes.
Goff is better.
Yep.
I would have said that Garoppolo is better, but he's too stupid. I don't want a moron running my franchise.
What about Beat Hard?
No. And then we've got I'm not going to go with any of the Cardinals,
Russ Wilson.
but I would say Russell Wilson, yeah.
Okay, so you need 4 more.
All right, so that's easy because you got Matt Ryan, boom, Cam Newton, bang, Drew Brees, Bung, and
And-
some other guy.
You missed one in the AFC West that would have put you over the.
Well, wait. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Nope. Bortles is better than Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and Jameis is the worst.
Yeah. So
But we haven't even done the East.
Okay. Eli,
Eli sucks.
Alex Smith,
Alex Smith sucks.
right?
But I would probably take him over Bortles. And then
Dak Prescott.
Dak
or-
Prescott sucks. And then I would take you. Do you guys got Nick Foles? You're with U of A guys.
No.
No,
I
would
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Depends what
So
Foles is up.
So did Wentz just take me to 17?
Yep. You made it.
Wait, I have a question. Did he pick Jameis Winston?
No,
He did not. He did not.
I said Ryan Fitzpatrick as a joke though at one point.
And I did not count it.
Okay.
All right. So Mark's got 17 quarterbacks better than Blake Bortles. So Nick, I don't think he's excellent.
Okay. He's not elite just yet. All right. I guess my only other story was Jalen Ramsey's trash talk of the week. I fucking love this guy. He just tears people to shreds. So his trash talk of the week was, I don't like how whoever has made it a matchup against me and Tyreek. He's good for what he does for their team. I mean, he made All-Pro as a return specialist. Let's get that right, as a return specialist. He went to 2 Pro Bowls as a return specialist. 2 years as a return specialist.
Did he say it the third time?
Yeah. I made All-Pro in my position as a corner. Went to the Pro Bowl as a corner. It's not a wide receiver versus a corner matchup. So I think we can get that out of the way off the bat.
That's strong.
Yeah.
I love how he says this stuff before the game. Like Tyreek is furious, just like everybody else. Why would he want to play receivers angry?
My favorite part is Tyreek's response was, Jalen Ramsey, he's all right. And then Ramsey comes back and says, well, if I'm all right, he must think all the other corners in the league are terrible because I'm the best corner in the league. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Too
What else
bad
you got?
the Vikings don't have any good corners. Anyway, what else you got?
That was it. Those two, and the Vikings are fine. Don't worry. All you Packer fans and Viking haters on the podcast viewership, don't worry. The Vikings will be fine. We'll win 12 games this year.
All right.
12. Can you name that many wins? No.
You literally cannot lose again if you're going to win 12.
They can lose one more time.
Yeah,
No, because they play the Packers one more time, so that already counts.
that's the dumbest thing I've heard on this podcast.
Yeah, they're playing at home. That's like the easiest game left on the schedule.
Mhm. All right. Easy transition into my top 3 then. I shared one with Mark with the Rams. They're like the best team I've ever seen.
Even better than the Patriots with Moss.
Too early to tell because the Patriots with Moss, they were already established and then they were that good. So it was like, fuck, the best got better. The Rams, there's still that element of like, wait, are they going to come back down to earth? Like, are they really this good? Are they for show? But that's also scary in its own right because it's like maybe they don't even know how good they can be and they can just keep going. So that they're scary. I think this weekend there's a huge matchup because the Falcons are 1-3, but are playing way better than 1-3, and they're in do or die territory because I think they're one of the top teams in the NFC, and if they lose, they're pretty much out of it at 1-4. But I really think they're a top team in the NFC that have just taken the wrong bounces. So I will say as point number 2, Falcons, Saints, NFC South teams, they just put up mad points in fantasy. You've got the Panthers, the Bucks, the Saints, and Carolina. So all you folks pick up some NFC South people because they're getting the points.
So that's the game of the week. You're right. Because Atlanta, do you know who they play this week?
I think they play Philadelphia, right?
They play at Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh's in the same boat. They're like
Yep.
1
So that's the game of the week. Both
Right.
teams are desperate.
right.
But it's in Pittsburgh, so I bet you Atlanta is going to be boosted out of that playoff race.
Yeah, so that's a big game. Third point of the week is, as a lifelong Raider fan, we have never once gotten a call that went our way. And
Really?
and yet we played Cleveland and got many calls that went our way. They tried to hand us that game, and we still almost butchered it. So my third point is thank you, the Referee Association of America, for ruling Carlos Hyde short on a 3rd down and 1 run with 1 minute and 20 seconds left to allow us to come down the field, score, go for 2, and get it all, and get our first win.
Oh, you guys did what the Vikings did? You guys did a last-second touchdown and 2-point conversion to tie it?
Not last second. Like, we score with, like, yeah, basically, because they punted with 140.
Yeah, same for
timeouts, and then we came down. Jared Cook, who had monster day, scored a touchdown. Then Derek Carr audibles on the 2-point conversion, throws a fade to Jordy Nelson. We got the point, but if you look at the replay, he puts his hands up and the ball goes through and just hits him right in the face mask before it hits his hands. But then he still comes down with it, so it worked out. So it feels good to win, but when you realize you had to try this hard to beat Cleveland, it really puts into perspective where your season's going.
Is John Gruden off the hot seat?
John Gruden as a coach is off the hot seat. John Gruden as a GM trading Khalil Mack and the certain choices he's made is still very much on the
No, they have Reggie McKenzie,
who's a puppet.
He'll probably go back to Green Bay.
It came out this week that they Reggie McKenzie had his own draft board that they had established that they got all season, and then John Gruden came in, hired some other guy, and this other guy had his own draft board. And when it came down to it, they went off John Gruden and his guy's draft board and just ignored McKenzie all along.
I heard that, actually.
Speaking of puppets, can you believe that McCarthy is still the coach of the Packers?
No.
Rodgers absolutely hates him and
he called him out.
Just owns him all the time. And McCarthy just always has that same look on his face, like
he's such a dope. Yeah, that's a terrible hire. And they've ruined Aaron Rodgers' entire prime with the same person the entire time.
Oh, that was another point I had. Is Aaron Rodgers past his prime? He's under 300 yards.
He's not going to win any more Super Bowls. 0 more Super Bowls.
Do you think he's playing on a torn knee ligament?
I don't know, but that would be a really lame move if he is.
I think that's an excuse for the fact that he's past his prime. Under 300 passing yards against the Bills. At home.
No, that's fair. That's what he called out his coach for.
He's one of the worst.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I was hungry earlier.
It's time for Bagdads. So all the dads put a bag on your head.
You're a dad to dude.
Yeah, it's true. But for this week, that doesn't count. So we'll go straight to what was the best meal that you had this week. And we got some good options because we had some travelers. So, Nick, what was the best meal you had since the last show that you joined?
That looked like a move he's done in his desk while watching other things before.
Oh, that's great. I had a lot of good food. Just living it up. But
wow, so descriptive.
I would say actually the best meal I had was at an Italian restaurant in Lisbon, Portugal. I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's close enough. It was a trace pasta dish. Like it's had 3 different pastas. One was like Alfredo ravioli type deal. One was like a marinara seafood, which is more Portuguese seafood pasta in the middle. And then the right one was like a rigatoni of sorts, all homemade, fresh pasta. Delicious.
That sounds nice.
To dabble in 3 different kinds, it was delicious.
I like that too. Europe does a good job of doing like tapas, but this isn't tapas, but you get to try 3 different things.
Yeah.
So
my second favorite was a tapas restaurant where I got to have like 10 different things.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they all were, so I can't. It speaks.
Clearly memorable, it sounds like.
Too many things to remember.
Twommy?
So I was in Dallas this week. Worked the Lions and Cowboys game, which was pretty eventful, but interesting meal I had down there. Some chicken and waffles from this place that doesn't not a hole in the wall. It was more of like I don't know if bougie is the right word, but like where we were taken out, we went to this nice place. Pretentious.
Yeah.
I like that. Pretentious. And I was like, all right, this they ordered for the table, a bunch of apps. I didn't get any say, but then they bring out this plate and it's like really nice strips of waffles. So it's not like a whole waffle, but like waffle strips and then chicken nuggets that are like fried and all in gooey awesomeness. Put them together, and that was probably one of the better meals I've had while in Dallas.
Nice. So I've got two quick thoughts because, Nick, when you mentioned tapas, I remember that I once had a little tiny hamburger as a tapa, and they gave it in a little tiny, like, Big Mac container. And then you guys were in the U of A with pride here because of your big recruit or what?
Big Josh.
Big Josh.
That recruit we got, top 10 out of Australia.
Is he really that big?
I just mean like Big Todd. You know, you call someone Todd when they're named after a band, like Big Head Todd and the Machine.
Must be nice. So I would have to say that I was not like super into the Cancun resort food because it's just kind of like, I mean, a step up from cruise food for sure. Sorry, my dog's biting me nonstop. Hey, dude, stop biting me. But the one fun part,
who's food in your pocket that he's after?
Yeah,
little pocket dog.
So I had at like 2 a.m. He's got his big baseball. He's bringing to us.
God, get a control of yourself, Mark. This is for private audience only.
Oh yeah. So
that I got crap for the squeaky toy is outrageous.
Yeah, that door has not stopped.
Door has ruined this podcast.
Yeah, it has not stopped.
I could put him on his leash pretty easily, and then he wouldn't.
Find a new spot to do the podcast next week. I don't want to hear that door ever again.
All right, dude, you're in trouble. You're going to your leash.
So while he goes to his leash, I love how those dry hot dogs, the picture of dried hot dogs Mark ate a few weeks ago.
So I had like some decent Mexican like pork with red onion sandwich like on ciabatta, but it was only good because it was at like 2 a.m. and I could order food and it was fun because it was on my TV. I could order whatever I wanted.
So it was chicken
Mark,
sandwich.
No, it was like a shredded pork with red onions. It was like a Mexican specialty, like chilaquiles.
Mark, I had a question.
Yes.
What's up with Ricky Martin?
So Ricky Martin is all over the water in Cancun.
I recall that.
Is that what you're referring to? I can't.
I was referring to the video you sent us.
I can't hear it.
Here, I'll try to see if I can grab it.
Did I send you guys a video?
Yeah. Neither of us commented on it.
Oh, all right.
I was just like, wow, Mark's tanked.
Yeah, that as evidenced by that. Wait, all right, here it is. I'm gonna press play.
Ricky Martin, bitch.
What?
You tell us.
What was the mask on your face?
Oh yeah, they were giving out masks and all sorts of weird stuff at the wedding that you could put on your face. Whistles, sound makers. masquerade masks.
How many people were at the wedding?
About 100.
All right. Well, that brings a good segue to the football abroad because we were all traveling. What was one thing you noticed in our travels about football and the state of football in the various places we were at?
All right, I'll go first.
Perfect.
So in Cancun, they showed us this game. You guys know about Four Corners, the beer game, right? Where you like throw it in the corners and then at the very end you try to double bounce it into the middle cup.
Yeah, I know the inventor of it.
So it's pretty much the same, except it's called chesties, and you have to hit it off your partner's chest and then go in the cup.
Yeah.
So bounce, chest, and then goes in. And then if you make it, you yell chesties and give it to your neighbor.
Nice. How'd you play?
I didn't play.
Cool story.
But they did play slap cup, which I guess is like pretty much exactly like Rage Cage, except you slap the cup instead of stacking it.
Nice.
But after every time we played, I made the argument that we should be playing Rage Cage instead so that we can go Rage Cage. And so before every game, I made the argument ending in Rage Cage, Rage Cage. And then we played Slap Cup. But then we actually tried a couple games of Rage Cage, and there was one other guy that was preferring Rage Cage.
Good. Hey, it's like this podcast. They start slow and steady, but we build our audience, and they
and you build and stack exactly. And it's harder when you have stacked cups. It makes it a better game.
Well said, my friend.
All right,
Nick, do you have one, or you want me to go with my football from abroad segment?
I can go with mine. So we were at Oktoberfest, behaving responsibly, and the new friends that sat next to us were from New Zealand, and I asked him, so what do you do in New Zealand in your free time? And they said, well, they fit into the stereotype and said, we play rugby. And I was like looking at them, they're all like pretty small white dudes. I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. And then they said, well, this guy is actually nicknamed Flash. And I was like, wow, he looks pretty slow. Why is he nicknamed Flash? And then they pulled up a video and showed me, and he was actually really fast and had a bunch of touchdowns. And it reminded me of people like Rex Burkhead or like Adam Thielen in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
It don't look like they'd be very fast, but actually could be called Flash.
Nice.
That's good.
That is good.
That was good.
Mine is nothing nearly as quality as Flash, but in Texas, I was there a couple nights, would go to dinner or whatever, and then go down to the bar at the hotel, grab a little nightcap. And I grew up in California, still live there, and would watch shows where like Texas football was almost romanticized. Like it was this great big thing. Like you don't know football unless you know Texas football. And I always kind of rolled my eyes like whatever the hell that means. But I'm not even kidding. I would overhear conversations from both sides and all around. Literally all anyone talked about was football and the games. There was this one guy behind me who was probably had to be like in his 50s. He was with his wife and they were with one other friend. And he and his wife had just redone their backyard. And I couldn't see any of the pictures, but he was showing their friend pictures of the backyard. And he's like, yeah, and this is great because when the Horned Frogs are on, I stand this TV up and it meets the other one halfway, and I got a projector, and I'm telling you, no more than $300. And they're talking about their TV setups to watch football. And I thought, man, I like this place. I can get along with these people because I know we have this nerd out isms with football and all that, but I feel like it's a little more hidden as others around us aren't quite as into it. But in Texas, every conversation was about the game, the football, and every event was, well, you go to church, but they go to this other church because it ends early enough that they can get back and watch the morning games.
Which is a terrible move by the other church.
Yeah, who extends church into the morning games
in Texas,
right? Where you have 2-hour heads up on everybody else. So, anyways, I was naive to the Texas football way of life, but and often critical, quite honestly. But after hearing how upfront and open they were about their love of football, and they're watching like TCU was actually good, but they were watching like they were talking about a Texas Tech game. They were talking about North Texas, like random schools that aren't worth watching, and they like have parties for it and put it on project.
That takes it too far. They sound like losers.
Well, if they're losers, I want to be a loser.
So did you say that you were at the Lions Cowboys game?
Yeah, I was confused on that as well. You said you were working it.
I was. So TLR has gained quite a following with our Texas audience, and so they've sampled some other content hosts that they would like to start some of their media presence, and they asked TLR to send a representative down, see what it's like, see what spin we could give to it, see kind of what insight we could bring. So I gave it our best shot. Didn't get into the stadium because my media pass didn't work. Watched at a bar and listened to other people talk about their football setups.
They didn't let you in?
So that was the extent of it.
Did they give you a chance to come back next week?
They didn't. I even brought Jerry Jones a bottle of his Johnny Walker Blue, the only drink that man drinks. Went to his helicopter landing pad. Sir, I love the way you do business. Let's talk. And I was immediately escorted away. But I tried, gave my effort, and at the end of it, they did give me a souvenir. You know how like at airlines they give out those little wings that you put on, like United or American or
in like the 1980s.
Right. So I got one that was a big Dallas star and it said Sheriff on it, and they gave me that. So I feel like I won that.
I'm surprised you didn't lead with that story and risk us not asking for a follow-up and only telling the football setup story.
I mean, we're here now. What do you need to ask?
Well, I just am glad that we were able to pull that story out of you, because otherwise we would have never known.
You know, had it been successful, it would have been the lead. But when it's not successful, I try to bury the lead.
How are we paying for all this content?
Funny you should ask. XL Recordings has been giving us, per view, we get 0.002 cents. So we have made a grand total of 98 cents in the entirety of this podcast. You're laughing now.
Is there any other like ads or anything else that we need to pay for this show?
Well,
when we played Vanilla Ice the second week, I forget, that copyright company reached out and said something, but then they never followed up. So we're really only getting it from Firestarter, which is XL Recordings. So we're riding Firestarter.
We don't have any other ads.
Funny you should ask. Our next advertisement is from Double B's. What's the worst part of traveling? That's right. Having to carry around your bags through the airport, to the hotel, down the street, from your house into the cab. Every time you travel, you are excited about the adventure. But then you remember that you have to carry all those clothes and essential items you'll need for your trip. The whole ordeal is such a hassle and can lead to major back pain, high stress, concussions, leading to a shorter, less enjoyable life. That's why you need your own bag bitch.
Sounds great. I would love my own bag bitch. How do I get one?
You sound like me during Glooberby's Goober.
No, he hasn't seen it. He can't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you need your own bag bitch. Sign up for Double B's today, and every time you travel, your own personal bag bitch will arrive.
You're sacrificing the fluidity of your bag.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to read this. Your own personal bag bitch will arrive at your house, eagerly awaiting your bags. Your bag bitch will handle all of your bags while you travel to the airport, hassle-free. Sign up for the Bag Bitches package, and another bag bitch will meet you at your destination to handle all your bags until you're comfortably at your destination. Type in the promo code TLR for 50% off your first bag bitch. Double B's, making travel bitchin'.
Nice. Yeah, you come up with some things that people would pay some money for.
You know what else people would pay money for?
Mm-mm.
A good keeper in a dynasty league, which is why for sleeper keeper, I've got 3 choices this week.
Jeez.
First,
one for each of us? Serve one of them to each of us.
None of us are applicable. Sony Michel, because
I know. Yeah,
he might be a New England running back to keep. Second is for Roger, because we missed Help Me Roger, but if he listens this long, he'll get his help. So I'll tease him with that.
Sony Mitchell got 17 points tonight, and I'm already going to lose this week. So
right, Sony Michel is going to get points every week.
I'll take him
as
mine.
The game was over an hour ago.
Yeah, I'll take him.
Second sleeper keeper from Roger is Golden Tate. All that guy does is produce. You can put him on the trade block, but all he's going to do is catch and taunt the others. So, Roger, think about Golden Tate as a keeper. Third, and most crucially, is Calvin Ridley taking over Julio Jones' spot as wide receiver number 1? I'll let the jury decide.
Nick, that could be yours.
Well, I think Matt Ryan fucking sucks, and he'll only ever throw to Julio Jones. I think the Calvin Ridley thing is just a blip in the system. Next week will be all back to Julio or interceptions by Matt Ryan.
I agree.
I got a lot of spotty service during that.
It just ended. We're good. Let's go to the next one.
Anybody got to look beyond the trio? We talked about basketball recruiting.
This I can't do it. You guys will get mad at me. I'm losing faith on a lot of my teams besides you know who. So let's just say it's going to be a good year.
Ooh, I got
Look beyond the trio. Did anything interesting happen, Nick? Nick, do you have something?
Before we get that, as he steps out, Mark, any trade calls you'd like to make?
Oh, good. Thank you for asking. I've been trying to do a blockbuster with Kyle for Le'Veon Bell. Pretty much offering the house for him, including next year's draft picks. But
no, he's smart not to do it, because then if he did that, you'd have 3 of your keepers locked up forever with Le'Veon, Odell, and Todd Gurley. So
yeah,
Kyle,
I don't really love Le'Veon.
Kyle, hold out.
Yeah, he's not going to do it. So I'm going to stick with James Conner.
Nice.
But I've been trying to trade with Nick. I looked at your team, but I don't think I like any of your players.
Well,
we're back. Nick's back.
So my look beyond the trio was got my Maui invitational tickets.
Oh!
Let's go! I'm super excited. So game 1.
Let's go!
Game 1, U of A trounces Iowa State.
Do you think one of your many, many, many top 10 recruits for future years will be there just to check it out?
Most likely.
That would be fun.
Game number 2 will be Arizona versus Gonzaga if they make it past their first game.
Let's go!
And
we're going to win the whole tournament.
A huge upset in the making.
I doubt it.
And
you know why? Because it'll be a blizzard in Spokane.
I can't wait for me to get a second picture of the press mark.
Last time we went to a game, you had shaved heads because Gonzaga beat Arizona.
Yeah, that's not going to happen again.
Mm.
Mostly because we're not bringing clippers. All right. I like to end with a couple shout outs, say to our guests, to our listeners, call in, dial in, give us some content. But this week, I think we have a different shout out. a different call out. We may not have enough members for Bag Dads, as there are only a few of us. And most of the hosts here are bag taken by our own wives. Sounds like a third one of us may soon enter that realm. Nick, care to comment on any big happenings happening in your life in the last week?
I actually asked for no comment on this during the podcast.
Our listeners are indebted to us. They love hearing about our lives. It's the least you can do.
Yeah, actually, that's true. It's the least you could do. Or you could continue to zoom in on the Zags logo. I like that.
I think he's pretending to freeze it again so he doesn't have to do anything.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not as cool. All right. Well, if he's going to play that game, I don't know about you, Mark, but I'm not trying to play that game.
I ain't gonna play it.
Give me some Firestarter.
No. We don't play Firestarter unless you tell us something worth playing it for.
I am engaged.
Oh, he tells the truth.
Ooh.
Show it off, girl.
Congrats, big fella. And on that note,
Tommy, let me see yours. Looking sexy.
Closing time. Open the doors and let you.
all right, we're